What's up, y'all? It's your boy Zay, and I'm back with another one. Now, have y'all ever wondered if there's ever been a society of light skinned and mulatto people? Well, actually, there was. They were called the Blue Vein Society, and it actually existed before. So, I'm gonna get into it. Let's break it down. What the Blue Vein Societies were: definition, exclusive social clubs made up of lighter skinned African Americans and mulattoes during the late 19th century and early 20th century. Name origin: the term blue vein came from the idea that a person's skin had to be light enough to show blue veins through it, symbolizing closeness to whiteness. Purpose: to create a social elite within the black community, promote respectability by mimicking white society's clubs, mannerisms, and standards, provide marriage, networking, and status opportunities based on color. Basically, a color based aristocracy. So, what I was going to say, y'all, was I don't agree with everything like mimicking white people and stuff. I don't know where they got that from. Because I mean, how are you mimicking white people? You're just trying to be a natural, normal society. You see what I'm saying? To create a social elites within the black community, I don't agree with that neither, because these people separated themselves from the black community. They weren't trying to be elite of the black community, so that's where they're also wrong. Now, provide a marriage, networking status, and opportunities, basically a color. Now, I do believe that because there had to be some sort of community with us, and stuff, spaces for us, a network of our own stuff with, closeness to whiteness and trying to mimic white people and do things that white people. I don't agree with that part, because I feel like, and trying to be elite within the black community, I don't believe that either, because this society separated themselves from whites and blacks. They didn't want to be bothered with nothing. They wanted their own identity. Now, slide two. Let's get into it. Slide two. How were they formed? Historical context: after the Civil War and Emancipation, 1865, the U.S. entered Reconstruction, a new class of free black and mixed race people, often educated or with property tried to distinguish themselves from both darker skinned freedmen of the stigma of slavery. Formation: these lighter skinned elites started creating social clubs, churches, and fraternal groups where membership was heavily tied to skin tone and family background. Spread: they existed in the major black urban centers: New Orleans, Charleston, Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and later northern cities like Philadelphia and Chicago. So this society, y'all, was very big. They were all up and down the eastern and southern hemisphere of America. All up and down that coast, south and north of the East Coast. And that's crazy. And we had communities of our own, you know, and yeah, it was in the same. It looked like it was in the same areas where blacks were at, but we were our own. We were doing our own thing. We weren't, with them. Um, and that's what it was. So they tried to separate themselves, as it says, mixed and light skinned blacks separated themselves. Slide three, let's get into it. Timeline. Okay, origins: around the late 1860s through 1870s, right after the Civil War and Reconstruction began. Height: the 1880s through 1910s was their most powerful era, especially in cities where colorism and class distinctions were the strongest. Decline: by the 1920s through the 1930s, during the Harlem Renaissance and the growth of the Pan-African Black Pride movements, these societies began losing influence. End: by the 1940s and 1950s, they were largely defunct or irrelevant. The civil rights movement, 1950s through 60s, basically finished off their existence, since unity against segregation mattered more than interracial elitism. Wow, guys. So, during, all these eras where, black people and whoever was a minority was oppressed. They often try to group us all together, and that's what happened. Um, let's get into slide 4. All right, so it says why they faded. Jim Crow laws treated all black people the same regardless of skin tone. Black cultural pride movement celebrated darker skin and African identity. Criticism and elitism and colorism made blue vein exclusivity seem exclusivity. I can't say that shit. Seem backwards. And new black institutions, NAACP, fraternities, sororities, political movements offered better outlets for leadership and status. So, as you guys can see here, we had our own groups, right? We excluded blacks and whites, right? We had our own thing. And now I take it as the racist white supremacists, the blacks, they destroyed our society. The whites are racist. They wanted smoke with every minority back then. And the blacks, they needed numbers. So that's where light skins and mulattoes were in. So anyway, y'all, just wanted to drop a piece of history and knowledge for y'all. Tune in, stay focused. I'll come at y'all with the next one.